Okay, now it's time to attack the starter. I guess it's the biggest problem for all of us as novice bakers, but it's really easy in that there are only two components. The tough is we all panic because it can go rank sometimes. We overfeed it, we underfeed. Anyway, it's as simple as getting a spoonful. In this case, I use a 50 ml spoon, and 50 mils of water. This on its own will make flatbread. So I've probably put a little bit under 50 mils of water because I like it to be more on the dry side rather than the sticky gooey side. That's just me. Now, if you were to weigh this, it should be the total, obviously the total of this and this. I weighed mine earlier for a reason, and it's 200 grams for this, because I'd like to know in a few days' time, once I put more in, I might forget how much I put in. So I want to know how much starter is in here. From a practical point of view, we need to have 175 grams to 200 grams of starter for each loaf when we prepare it, so that we've got some left over. You don't need very much left over. To give you an idea, if I had that amount left over, that'd be fine for making the next loaf by the time we add to it and feed it. So with this, I've obviously created it, so therefore it's fed. So what I will do is come back either later on this afternoon and have a look, see how it's going, or tomorrow at the same sort of time, and I'll add another 50 grams of flour and just under 50 grams of water and a reliable chopstick, just mix it up. Now what's going to happen over the process, and it depends on the country, it depends on the moisture in the air and the heat. What's going to happen is it's going to start getting bubbly. So the air gets into it, it's all feeding, multiplying, and it'll get really nice and sticky initially. And you'll see it, it can rise from, say if that comes to 150 grams around there, then it could rise to there because of all the air in it. It doesn't always. So you just got to check. And there's a way of checking, which seems to be fairly reliable, which is just by taking a dollop once it's in a week's time, put it into some water. If it floats, then it's said to be ready because presumably it's got enough air in it. So this is only the second day that we've had this starter, and hopefully you can see all the bubbles going around there. And from the top you can see it still looks sludgy, so there's not enough gluten to be found in that just yet. So now we're just going to feed it once more, and again 50 of flour, just under 50 of water, just so I keep it on the slightly dry side of things. Give it another stir. So you can see it's all still nice and getting gloopy. That's it. You can see it's starting to get springy. It won't be ready yet for making bread, but it's certainly on its way. And this is just day 2, and it's behaving nicely. So in the jar, jar weighs a total of 400 grams, and so 200 of that is the starter. What we want to do is to get rid of a substantial amount of the starter so that we keep some strength there, but we put fresh flour, fresh water in to help it to reproduce more quickly and get all of this gluten going. So I'm actually going to take this back. So I've got around about 50 grams and then build it back up again. People got different ideas of how much they want to throw away. Also, some people decide they want to make pancakes or something out of the original starter. I tried it. I've never tasted anything quite so nasty. It wasn't pleasant. This, as you saw a bit earlier, it's sticky. So I don't know what's in there, but it's not very much. Let's weigh it. 35 grams. That's all I've got left there. So this is going to be thrown away. Later on, you could think about using it for something else, but it really doesn't feel mature enough yet to do anything. So what I'm going to do now is just keep going. So coming into day 3, flour, water, same quantities. All right, so the same quantities of flour and water as we've been doing. So it's 50 of the flour, just under 50 of the water, and favourite chopstick. Okay, and we just mix that up again. And as I think I mentioned before, once this has got going, you then don't start throwing away anymore. You basically just mix enough up so that you've got enough for the following loaf with a little bit left over. And as you saw just now, I had very little left over, but it's absolutely fine. Okay, I'm very excited. Hopefully it shows. From the flour, salt and water, that's it, we got our starter. So this one we started 5 days ago, and I'm treating it as our starter, remember? Because hopefully you're making it at the same time, and yeah, it feels like a joint effort. So from the starter, I've just baked this. So from this exact starter, we've got this. So this was 5 days ago. Depending on the climate, it could take up to 10 days, but it's really worthwhile putting in the effort to make sure you've got a nice starter, which I hope you've seen is easy. It's flour, water, flour, water. The only thing I would say, if it gets a little bit too weak, if it seems a little bit too runny, just add a little bit more flour on its own until it gets a little bit more, a bit stiffer. And then just wait for it to rise a bit. And our bread. So now you're going to have to go and watch the how to make video. But it's really exciting. And yet again, dopamine. So I think I know what's for breakfast. Okay, let's just show you where we are with the starter. So lots of bubbles there, and inside it's pretty stiff. I'll explain how I got there in a minute, but this is exactly the same that I've been working on for the last few days. It must be about 5 days now. My last dollop didn't work, Okay, apart from it being a bit sticky, that's now looking much better. It is so close, and I reckon this is actually usable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a loaf. Weirdly, I was thinking, this is the way my brain works. We've been creating this together, and I found it difficult to say that the other starter is my starter and this is what. So I've decided this is our starter. Just like the idea of the connection, really. So this, our starter, is I'm going to make our first loaf. So when you see the next part of the video, what I'm going to be doing is putting 150 grams of the starter plus 500 grams of flour and 280 grams of water and a bit of salt. We will make our first loaf. So we'll be making it together. So although this isn't perfect yet, this should be floating. Oh, it's so close. And it's not liquidy like it was before. So basically what I've done is, this was too liquidy. After day 3, it was still very loose and liquid form. So I fed it twice, just flour. So I put 50 grams of flour in, I think it was yesterday morning. And then late afternoon, another put of 50 grams of flour and no water. So this is then turned into a much stretchier, the structure is much better inside there. Ooh. So it's ready. As close to me, I can see lots of air bubbles in there. So I would love the water of test to be magic for you, but it's pretty close. Lots of bubbles, lots of nice gluten structure in there. So it's close. For some people, this is going to take another 5 days of nurturing it. But essentially, the way I found it works for me is if I can get the mixture pretty stiff, which means adding more flour than water, then it's got to be the way to go. So ignore sort of all the actual formulas, just use your eyes and senses and make sure there's lots of bubbles around the outside. You should be able to see bubbles coming in from the top, and ideally it will float. So if you're a bit nervous, just give it some more time. This I've just kept out overnight, every day, just feeding it. And then, as I say, yes, I fed it twice in the day because I just looked like it might need it, but it was just flour.